Feast of Prosperity is back for 2022, and we're going to get another serving of it tonight when we talk about what they've got for us for this year, what they've updated. We're going to cover that and a whole bunch more on this episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 445. And with me is my co-host, Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Oh, well, I mean, never mind Feast of Prosperity. I've been spending way too much time doing major inventory rearranging.
Why?
So, why? Because I get this thing where I log in and I'm gonna play, and then I notice I only have like 2 empty slots in my inventory, and so I just put a bunch of stuff in the bank to make room so I can play, and I'll think about it later. And then eventually I get to a point where my bank's full, the legacy cargo is full, my inventory is full. So I decided I was going to go through and just like delete everything. That was my original plan, which I didn't do. Instead, I started doing this thing where I have like crate after crate after crate after crate after crate from the Commander Share boxes that you get from doing heroics. I have like hundreds of these crates.
Yeah.
And in each of those crates is a piece of gear that's armor, and then there's also a companion gift, sometimes a companion gift and a level 6 companion gift, and then sometimes a deco, and sometimes a vehicle. I think I might have gotten one pet that way too. But the armor is all this stuff called remnant this, remnant that, remnant this, remnant that. So I decided, because I have poor judgment, that I was going to collect all the remnant armor.
Yeah. I have a character
So that
with
was
all the remnant armor. Yep.
You do?
Well, from before. Not anytime recently, but yeah, I was because all those remnant sets, you 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 could definitely collect them, and so I've got like one character that's got like 3 bank tabs full of remnant pieces.
Okay, but that's not the same as collecting them. That's not putting them in collections.
Oh.
So what you have to do to put them in collections is you have to get all of each set.
Yes. Yeah.
And
So I
so
was holding on. I was gathering all of the pieces over and over and over so that I could eventually get the
yes,
complete sets.
right.
Yes.
So, but actually, I learned a lot about these. But what I was doing is, first of all, I opened all the military ones, and so inside the military ones are smuggler and bounty hunter. And then
Oh.
among the smuggler, there's 5 sets, and among the bounty hunter, there's 5 sets. And so I just started collecting them, and I would delete everything that I already had. Like if I already had the head piece of the Dreadgar smuggler set, then I could delete that headpiece. And by delete, I mean drag it into the background and click on OK. I mean, that's the only way to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So you're doing that over and over and over again. I also found out as I was doing it though that as soon as you get a piece, like you open a chest and you get the piece, you get credit for that piece in collections as long as you don't delete it. So like if you look in collections and type in remnant and look at the various armor sets, they might say 4 of 7 or 0 of 7 or 6 of 7, or it could be complete. That might be from crates that you've opened in the past on that character, and you haven't deleted the pieces yet. So then once you get the actual set and it lights up, you have the whole, you have all
I have
0
all
of
zeros.
7. So once you get like 7 of 7, that little count thing goes away, and then the little copy thing lights up, and then you know you're done. So now, like if you've got the Remnant Arcanian Troopers set, then now every Remnant Arcanian Trooper piece that you get, you don't need anymore.
Got it. I never got this far, so this is actually good
Yeah.
information. So I'm probably 007 because I gave all of those crates to the character that's not this
Right,
character.
and you have to open the crates, which the crate is also like
I
a 3-second.
did, yeah.
It's a 3-second cast to open the crate, and then you have to, click on take all, um, and then I have had a tab in my legacy cargo hold for the longest time for companion gifts, so I can just throw them in there and they stack. So that one is not that big of a deal. And then like decos, you can just learn. And then vehicles, I throw them in the legacy bank too because
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm going to learn them on yet. But
Right.
so I'm completely finished Smuggler and Bounty Hunter, which are the military crates. No, those are the I forget which crate they are, but I finished Smuggler and Bounty Hunter. Now I'm working on Trooper and Warrior, which is the next group, which is, I think maybe those are the military case. Like maybe before, yeah, Hilo Viz, it was the Smuggler case, whatever that one's called. Now I'm working on military case. And it's a lot of clicking. It's a
Yeah.
lot of clicking. And so right now I have most of them finished on those two sets. So that's 5 sets of each for those two. But I'm still missing 4 or 5 pieces, but I ran out of military crates. So that's how much clicking I've done because I had like 671 military crates and I didn't get
Crazy.
all of the pieces. Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible that I, did it wrong and threw away something that would have counted, but I don't think, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, mistakes happen. But anyway, so that is a big project. However, I also have done away with lots of stuff. Oh, Fawn gave me a pro tip too, which is like I've been holding on to my 306 gear for reasons unknown, just because I thought, what if I want it later? However, since I made this rule that I'm just going to delete everything anyway, I decided to deconstruct it. And I was talking to Thon. He said, yeah, that's the way to go with your 306 gear because that is one way to get blue Jawa junk.
Huh.
And you can use the blue Jawa junk to buy the refined isotope stabilizers, which is one of the mats for dark projects.
Interesting. Good to know.
So yep. So every time I come across 306 gear, I've been deconstructing it. Now, when I come across my 250 gear, I don't know what to do with that. So I've just been keeping that. But yes. So on some of my characters now, they have a nice, clean new inventory. Not my Merc, though. Not yet. I haven't gotten that far. But it's like a little or a big a meta game. So I spent a lot of time this week doing that.
Sounds
Um,
interesting.
but that's not all. That's not all I've been doing. I've actually also been playing GS3, like all of us have.
What did you put
I
here in
have,
the notes? The smile.
yeah,
It's like
that's
filling up my whole screen.
it's that movie Smile. So you said you didn't know what it was
I
anyway.
did not.
She smiles like
It's
like that scary
terrifying. It
Nexu.
does.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
terrifying.
Yes.
Um, So what else have I been doing? Oh, I already mentioned GS3. In fact, for MFM, we did GS3 stuff and Conquest stuff. And then tonight in our ops team, we were doing R4, which we did the first 2 bosses, and then we did the third boss, which I think that was our first time killing the third boss. And then we got quite a few attempts even on the fourth boss, which was a
Um, no. There's
or
only
am I
four
confusing it?
bosses.
Okay,
We did the
so we
first
were doing
two.
the third. We were doing the third.
Or
Okay, I was thinking of the hallway. That's right.
yeah,
We
the
haven't beat the hallway
hallway.
before.
Yeah. We finished
We
the
sort
hallway
of beat the
boss.
hallway. We didn't really.
Oh, we got through it.
We got through it. Yeah. I'm not sure in a repeatable fashion though.
It was textbook. What are you talking about? Sure, we were all dead at the end and had to, had to run through
But
it,
when we
but
came back, the mobs were gone, so that's all good.
for some
So yeah,
definition
so
of
we were doing
textbook.
that fight, which is it's a kind of a puzzle, but it's actually a pretty fun fight.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we'll
I
get
had
that
fun
one
doing that.
pretty quick, but we only I tried it a couple times tonight.
And I've been
Look good
paying a
looking.
lot of attention also to rep the last couple of weeks. The rep for Faye's rep, for the yes, so for that Galactic Seasons 3. And the first week I got something like 4950 reps, so I didn't quite get the the max for the week. Then the next week, which was last week, I definitely made it over 5,000, and I did the thing where you click the purple one at the very, very, very end, so you go past 5,000 as much as you can. And so I've been sort of paying attention to that and looking at how many of the game analysis modules
Yeah.
that I've been collecting and what activities do that. So that's been on my mind. And yeah, I mean, the inventory has definitely been taking up most of my playtime. And by playtime, I mean, work time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean I do it at work. I mean, it's work. It's not play. But it's weirdly satisfying.
Yeah. It's a
It
thing.
is weirdly satisfying. And also, I don't have to do this remnant armor stuff. I could just delete it all. So I put this on myself.
Yes, you did.
But it's a lot of clicking. But
Well, I still have all
now
mine.
I
As I said, I haven't deleted it. It's a project for another for future me.
now I know that any character that does a heroic and gets a smuggler box, they can open it and delete everything in it except the gifts.
Well, yeah, that is good information and a
Yeah.
nice way to go about it to clear off a couple of them and know that you've got them done. That's pretty cool.
Anyway, well, it takes a lot of room to do it too, right? Because I was 7 pieces in each set, 5
Yep.
sets in each class, so it takes a whole tab to do the two classes at once. So
Yeah.
anyway, yes, enough talking for me. How was your week, Max?
Which I don't, did you mention this? I don't think you mentioned we won a planet. We won
No,
Onderon for Total Galactic
no,
War.
we did.
So we
I did not
celebrated that
mention
on
that.
Tuesday when it ticked over and we got our 36 million. I think the next 30, 36, 38 million, and the next guild down was 4 million. There's a bunch of weirdness. I think we talked about it a little bit last week where there was a couple guilds that showed up on the board and then like one of them disappeared completely. It's not like they got bumped down off the board. They would have still been in second place and they just disappeared. Don't know what happened there. If that was like a bug and it was a holdover from last week, some people said some weird display issues can show up like that. I don't know. Anyway, we must have, or we crushed their spirit and they all they all G quit and dissolved their guild because AIE was just too superior. I don't think that's the case,
No.
but that was fun. So we won Onderon. We
We add another planet to our planetary belt.
Yeah, that was super cool. And again, we don't expect to win every one of these, but we do win a lot of them, and I'm
Yeah,
pleasantly surprised. Not surprised, but I'm very pleased and happy every time we do.
right.
Um, I have been working on Galactic Seasons. That's been my number one. I've been working on the 12-point objectives, which this week included having to play 8, where wins count as 2 of PvP. So that included me tuning up my PvP character, which is my Sork. I like to play Madness Sork in PvP. That's what I'm most comfortable with, and the utility that the Sork brings, like the pull, which is interesting, especially in games like Hutball. But it's still not perfect, but I had like a whole bunch of, I had full accuracy on the gear that my Sork was using, and I didn't have like a 320 weapon. So I tuned that up, took accuracy off the pieces that I wasn't sharing with like my main character for PvE. So, and added some crit and alacrity instead, tuned it up a little bit, did pretty well. I think I actually won 4, so I only had to do 4 and completed it, which was
Nice.
good. Uh,
Does that happen often, by the way?
Winning versus losing,
Yeah.
it's about 50-50 because it's pretty balanced because they now most of the matches s- switch up between Horde and Alliance. That's not what I'm gonna say. Republic and Imperial. So it's not like everybody, all the good people are playing on the Imperial side. So if you're playing on the Republic side, you're gonna get stomped. That doesn't really happen, and it is pretty well matched. So you can have
Right.
pretty
So in
pretty
other words, you
balanced.
can get a match that is two imp teams or two pub teams. Is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
You
Yeah.
right. Right. Or no, and even mixed on each side. Um
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, really? I
that even
didn't
happens
realize
these
that.
days. Yep. Um so but well, I played one I played 3 of them in the mornings the last couple days and one of them last night. The one I played last night, that we ended up winning and I don't know how we won because the other team basically did twice as much damage as our team combined. Uh, in fact, there was a character, like a single character on their team that I think did as much damage as our team combined. But it was a hotball
What
match, so
were they fighting on the road?
yeah, exactly. They're fighting between objectives. They're fighting on the road. Get to the flag. Fight on the flag. Typing furiously in chat. Why are you all so terrible? No. But I don't know. So there was a sniper on the enemy team, and that sniper could, within 2 global cooldowns, take 3/4 of my health away. Single shots, single shot, single target abilities. One of them was some sort of grenade that did 139,000 damage. And the other one was some, like sniper or something that was over 100K also. That person did, as I said, probably like over 8 million damage in a match. Um, crazy. So I don't know what was going on there. Again, I would never accuse someone of cheating, and I don't think it was cheating.
No, they were
It's
lining up their
yeah,
cooldowns. Yeah.
and probably gold augments and all the probably 340 gear and knowing how to play and getting the most out of the spec. But when you've got people doing that, now I know if you had four of those, four DPS like that, then you'd just be cruising through vet mode R4 because that person's doing
Yeah.
like 3 to 7 times the damage of any other player in the game. You could probably go with just that like one of those person could put one DPS, like 2 tanks, 2 healers. That person could clear story mode R4 with you. So crazy. Evening just seemed a lot tougher and a lot more serious players in there. It seemed much more balanced in the morning. The time to death of getting targeted was it was definitely much more
Longer.
balanced. Yeah.
Yeah. How about the queue times between the two?
Minimal, just a couple minutes at most. So
Gotcha. Oh, that's it. That's good. Because I know they've done some things to help the queue time and they seem to have worked then.
yep. The other thing I did, so the last thing, I just looked at my notes and my eyes got big again. I finally got frustrated. I was like, I'm never going to make these gold augments. I'm just going to sell my OEMs and RPMs. And I found a couple extra in my my auction character, my trade network character, and I had a bunch in my material storage. I put all of them on the market this morning for over 300 million each. I almost got myself in trouble because I had 700 million on that character. I got up to 4.1 million. The cap on a single character is 4.29 billion. That's what I'm saying, billion. 4.29 billion. I got up to 4.1 plus billion. I nearly hit the credit cap just in 2 hours. All of the REMs and freaking out.
OEMs, RPMs, yeah.
OEMs, RPMs, and I did a couple legendary embers up there too. Where's all of what is this for? I don't even. What am I going to do with 4 billion credits? There's one thing I would buy. I would pay, but I don't like paying 1 billion credits for anything.
I know, right? I don't like pay. Yeah, I'm with
But
you.
I would probably pay a couple 100 million credits for a Hissis mount. Have you guys seen these? There's 2 of them. I think you could just buy them off the cartel market right now. Maybe show this to everybody. These are cool. HSS ISS. There's an Onderonian or Oriconian Hissis and a dark side Hissis. And I think the dark side even looks a little better, but they both look. I almost hit buy now. That would have been a shame, or would it have been? So they're on the cartel market for 2,400 cartel coins. But it's a cool like dragony kind of creature. I may end up just spending the cartel coins to get this.
Quinn. He says, Max, please squeeze me and your SWTOR will.
Yeah. Well, No, it's not hard. Quinn,
Yeah,
if
just
you want
yeah. Sell those
it's four
buy OEMs with tech frags and then sell
four
them.
4,000 tech frags. How many tech frags do you burn in a week? How many tech frags have you gathered for Total Galactic War last week? How many tech frags did you collect? 4,000 tech frags is worth 300 billion credits right now. 300 million.
Million. Yes.
I am
He's
all
excited.
discombobulated by this.
Yes.
It's just crazy. So 4,000 tech frags is worth 300 million credits right now. That's just what it is. It's insane. I
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get it. All right.
It's what the market will bear apparently.
Okay. Well, we spent way
And
yeah,
whoever's buying them is probably making money on them too in their way. They have
probably
a reason for doing it.
or
Yeah.
getting the satisfaction out of them or I don't know. Yep. It's crazy.
I like the ISO 5R
Yeah, it's an
companion you have
ISO
there.
companion droid. It's also cool.
That's actually one of my favorite droid models. Is that
He's got nice little animations too when he like heals you up. Like
another
this
thing that's
the
came with Make B.
like he like spins around and lights up green
His
when he's
little
healing you.
yeah.
Little
Oh, he's got little colored
animations,
yeah.
little colored lights light up. He gets up on his toes, looks around.
I mean, that's one thing
Look at you with your
we could
hat.
spend credits on is just get all our favorite looking animal and droid
Well,
companions
I
and
looked on the market for a Hysis mount and it wasn't there. So I can't even spend the
okay.
credits on it if I want to.
However, the end of my sentence was going to be the ones that we have that we like, just put them at 50 influence so we could run around with them.
Mm, yeah. Just
Because 4
compendium
million
them up.
credits, I mean, Max would not cross the street for 4 million credits.
No. Yeah. It's not worth my time to bend down and pick it up. If you know what I mean. All right. Tons of extra time on what we've been doing this week because it has been some fun stuff. But let's get into the news, and we won't need all that much time to get into the Feast of Prosperity anyway, so it's going to work out just fine. News.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
First up in the news, which we are quite excited about, is there will be a live stream to do breakdown for us, a dev live stream from BioWare to break down 7.2 update and what their plans are, roadmap, when it's going to happen, and hopefully we're going to get some of a preview of what's going to be in it. That's going to happen next week on November 9th, which is Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. UTC. So that means Thursday, assuming that it happens on Wednesday. Thursday next week for the podcast, we will talk about it in detail.
Yes.
So look forward to that. Tune in live, 10:30 p.m. Central, or catch it when it hits the feeds on Friday. We will give you all of our hot takes on 7.2 and what we'll know so far.
Also, Jackie has been updating the list of known issues. So that to keep that's really like a living list. So post stuff as you find them, and she'll add them to the list. Some bugs she noted have been fixed. Um, Mostly more the like one cosmetic thing where there was the unlocks didn't have the right number of designer slots in them, but that was just a description thing. It still said 16 instead of the new number, which is 32. And they uh, fixed the issue where Lady Dominique was using force blast that was like wiping groups, which is good because we'll be getting to Lady Dom pretty soon now.
Yeah, maybe next
And
week.
then they fix Agenta Paul's mask not showing when equipped. So, I mean, that seems major.
Yeah, Jackie's been working hard on this, hasn't she?
Yeah, but then yeah. So just keeping everything updated is a task. It's sort of like opening all your crates and getting out remnant armor.
Yeah, it's a job.
It's a lot of clicking and copy pasting and talking to people and making sure you have the right news.
Right. Right, because she's having to go across multiple teams and multiple developers, multiple groups, verifying that things are complete and how it was completed, and then escalating the things that are still showing up. Yeah. I noticed there was some sort of typo with the enlightened spider droid. That's another one. That's a thing I want. I wonder if
How
it's
do you get that? Is that in the
cart.
cartel market?
Yeah, it's cartel. In fact, I don't think it's even very much in the cartel market, is it?
240. Oh my gosh, that's Not very much.
I'm just gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Enlightened, enlig, enlightened spider droid. Buy now. I'm feeling saucy. Claim. Are you sure you wish to claim these items? Yes. Do it. Yeah, the enlightened spider droid, which I didn't realize also showed up in Empire's or Return of the Jedi. But it was also featured prominently in the Book of Boba Fett intros, which is where I saw it most recently. And I thought it was really cool. In fact, I thought it was new in the Book of Boba Fett, and I thought it was a cool design. I am a fan of uh, non-humanoid droid models. So like these guys, this spider to me, spider droids, a spider type model is an effective model for any kind of droid because you have multiple appendages then, so there's redundancy. And if you think of like a droid operating in a weightless environment, being able to use a couple appendages for gripping and a couple appendages for working and be able to use those interchangeably, and when there's no up or down, I think there's a lot of value. And having a jar to carry around a brain in, that's handy too, because you never know what you're going to need to have a brain that you're going to need to carry in a jar. So if you don't know what the lore is behind these, apparently these were used by the monks who owned Jabba's palace. Jabba was just using the palace and the monks allowed it. But when they got themselves to an enlightened state, they would have their brains extracted from their skulls and carried around in jars, and these were the droids that would transport them and handle them as needed. So that's what. It doesn't just have. Well, it's actually got 7, so I guess it's not technically a spider. It's got 7 appendages, 6 legs, and then a claw. Well, if you count the thing coming out of its face to hold the brain, then it's kind of 8. I don't know. Anyway, yes.
It's enlightened, so it only needs 7 legs.
Finally, in the news, the November in-game events are also noted, and Jackie's highlighted those. And there's a ton of them. November is packed. November is chock full of events. Right now we've got Rakghouls and the Feast of Prosperity are both going on right now. And then we're going to get Degree from November 15th to November 22nd. Then the Pirates from November 29th to December 6th. The Feast is going on all month as well. So basically, almost every event is going to be available. Everything except Swoop Racing, kind of, right? Yeah. So fun times, lots of stuff to do. And then we'll also hear next week what 7.2 is eventually going to bring. I don't know if that's necessarily going to come out before the end of the year, but could. That's what we'll find out. Guild and community news. Total Galactic War, right, Zima?
Yep. I mean, yep, that's our big news. And I mean, I guess I'll mention too that we do our MFNs on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Those are events where everyone's welcome. Occasionally we will do something that's operation or operation adjacent, which requires you to be max level and have a sub. But even when we do those, it's usually only for part of the evening, and people from various levels and various subscription states can participate. Just normally just need to have your ship so that we can summon you.
Still checking out this spider mount. I wish I could really zoom in on some of these things like this, but
The textures are really interesting.
The texture on the sort of like the back end part of the.
It almost looks like a stretched,
it's cloth,
like a Zeppelin. Yeah.
It's cloth simulation for 3D modelers familiar with cloth sims that you can do these days. Yeah, so it looks like a vinyl fabric that's been stretched over a frame. With you see some extra creases in there, and there's even texture on the fabric. Yeah, you're right. This is really, And that brain in that jar does slosh a little bit when it moves around.
Yeah, it does.
This is such a good, well done model. This you could see where they're really getting more and more advanced with their models these days. This is very cool. Yeah, that brain and the fluid, the bloody looking fluid, and it's sloshing around.
Oh my god. I could have died happy without
It's delicious
thinking of
looking.
that fluid as bloody fluid.
Okay.
Ugh.
Shout out to the chat room. Thank you everybody there for joining us in the chat room. Got a good crew in there tonight. People helping us out with notes, keeping us up to date, and answering our questions when we get lost and forget what we're doing. We are live every Thursday night, almost every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Central if you wanted to join the chat room live. If not, we are on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher now. All three of those, and also YouTube/New Overlords, where you can also catch our other podcast, which is Behind the Games. A couple exciting episodes of Behind the Games are continuing to come out weekly. We've had some great ones. There's a new one that's going to probably hit the feeds on Monday for a pretty cool pixel game that's in development and should be hitting in 2023, and a few more lined up. In fact, we're doing another interview tomorrow morning. So that's fun stuff there as well. But definitely thank you, chat room, and we will catch up with you after the show as well, like we do for little post show fun for the people that join live. But now, so or should I say first we feast?
Power will be yours if you are willing to burn.
Are you willing to burn food, Seema? there's my connection.
I'm never willing to burn food, but sadly, it occasionally happens.
It happens from time to time. I did not burn the food that I cooked this week. I cooked some good chili. I keep
Yeah,
talking
that
about
sounds
that, don't
good.
I? Keep taunting you. What we do have in game is the Feast of Prosperity. So this is the third year, but I think the fourth time. Didn't they run it twice in 2021?
Yes.
Or earlier in
Yes.
2022, whatever. So I think this is the fourth time it's run. It's the third year it's run. They have updated some things. So we'll probably start there, and then we'll just circle back on just some of the tips and tricks and things that we like to talk about whenever the feast comes back. Some of the dailies that you do, some of the dailies that are a little easier to do these days. And we'll also do a shout out to the couple of the detailed guides. But let's look at the vendor, at a couple of the new things. They added a new set of weapons to the vendor this year. So that is fun. And they added 2 mounts, and they added a toy, right? So like a decoration toy. So the weapons set look pretty cool. I think, yeah, as I think you and I were talking before the show, I think a little bit of a missed opportunity for them to make these like kitchen utensils.
Yes. Yes.
That's the direction I would have gone. So they're sort of themed with the style of like the Duba and Gaburga's droids, and so they're a matching style, but they're just just weapons. There's the blaster, every weapon you would expect, blaster rifle. So you can see a little bit more there of kind of what the style is, and they're nice. They're nice and stylish. It looks sort of like an elegant version of some of these weapons, not really military, but more like a polished version. But yeah, I was thinking it should have been like spatulas and cleavers and
Mhm.
other various kitchen utensils. I think that would have
Especially
been
cleaver. That would just be such a fantastic, menacing weapon.
right. Yeah, even the shape of this blaster a little bit looks like it could have been a meat cleaver. I zoomed in real close because I was like, oh, that very easily could have been like a meat cleaver with a barrel on top that just shoots a meat cleaver that shoots knives. Let's really go for it.
Let me
Um,
look. I think are they bound on legacy, the new weapons?
Yes, they are. No, they are not. It says bind on pickup. I wonder if they unlock in collections though. No, it says bind on pickup.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Bind on pickup. Bind on pickup. Yeah, the currency that you would be using is legacy. So you've got that going for you. So all of these require.
I wonder if Can you? I wonder if you can put them in collections. Then let me look.
Yeah, you check
Gourmand.
into that. The currency though is so it's prosperity tokens. I'm almost capped, so
Nope.
I'm good. I should no. Okay, so you got to buy them on to the character that needs it, I guess.
Yes.
Which is a pain because, well,
Yes, it is a pain.
if you want to, I only have the Rhodians on the fleet for the 320 mods. I only have them unlocked on a couple characters. I don't have them unlocked on all my characters. So this is the pain when I go to like my assassin, and I did this earlier this week. I had to take a weapon that was a legacy bound saber staff, send it to my mercenary. My mercenary had to fill it with the mods, and then send it back to my assassin. And on my assassin, I would have preferred another weapon that I have, like this unstable saber staff, which looks really cool because it's got a blade effect. But I couldn't use that one because I couldn't send it in Legacy. Now I could pull the mods out of the saber staff that I transferred back and forth and put them into the bound weapon, but then I can't use that on any other assassin I have. Just make them all legacy bound. Every weapon, make every armor piece and every weapon in the game. Why are these not legacy bound? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Why, Seema?
Yeah.
Why?
What's the reasoning? Yeah.
Riddle me this, Batman. The two mounts, let's go to the mounts. The two mounts are themed to Gaborga and Duba. Remember, Gaborga is the good one. He's spending all of
No.
his funds.
I mean,
Seema hates them both, thinks they're both evil.
but in your book, Gaburga is the evil one, not the good one.
No.
Yes.
No, this one over here. This guy. Oh, wait, Duba. So wait, why is Gaborga Duba? Duba's the good one. Gaborga's the the one that's like pocketing all the cash. Duba is the one that's oh, so it's not themed the way I thought. So Duba's they got them backwards. Duba's should be like the plain mount, and Gaborga should have the opulent mount. I lost them. Where's the mounts? So Gaborga's is the plain one. Maybe it's opulent food. And where's Duba's? I guess it would be under D. Duba's transport skiff is a little more opulent. So that makes less sense to me now. I guess it's not that opulent, but kind of. In fact, I am going to buy Duba's transport skiff right now because I'm almost
We're
capped.
looking at you, by the way.
Oh.
If you think we're
Yeah,
looking
there
at
you
the
go.
game.
Thank you, Taraquin. Thank you, Seema. Duba's tent transport skiff. Yes. Buy it. Let's light it up. Let's see what it looks like. I do like these transport skiff mounts, and I've got a few of them. I gotta go get it out of my abilities tab. Abilities. Oh, but I can search in here now. Vehicles.
Here's some people over here infecting us.
Infecting us with
Rackle plague.
Duba's transport skiff. Oh, that's right, because the rackles are going on now. There we go. Looks like it's a good one. It's got a little plate of fruit and food floating around. It's got a plate on the ground, little pillows that you lean against, and then there's a droid that drives for you in the front. I do like the design of this one. Oh, look at my spiders underneath there, hiding, hoarding its little brain in the jar. And then there's one other thing. I think you had the Hello toy already, right, Seema?
Yes. Where are you?
I am over where there, a little further. Oh, yep. Keep on going straight.
Oh.
Go ahead.
There you are. Yes, here's the toy. Where did I put it? Oh, it's in my inventory.
And you can see Seema is wearing some of the rewards from previous years, which is one of the armor sets and the chef hat, which
as I'm
is
modeling it.
oh, there we
There's
go. So the
Here's what
toy
delicious food looks like.
is holograms of food. You don't get the food; you get to look at the food. So there you go. It's kind of nice though. Nice looking. I like
In some ways it's nicer looking than the actual food because like I don't really want to eat the little miniature chlor slug.
it is. Those do look well. Maybe they're delicious. I don't know. Not as delicious as that brain though. Uh, pro tip: having I use the hollow trees this way, but this would work just the same. They're targeted, right? So you get a reticle
Yeah.
and you put it on the
Yeah.
ground somewhere. If you fill up your inventory, and I have 3 of the hollow trees, and now I'll add this to the collection. There are places in the game, like when you're doing a world boss fight, for example, where you can't use your raid markers. You can't use your raid markers if you're not in an operation, if you're not in a raid instance, on ops instance. So what you can do is you can pull out those trees or this hollow dish, and you can put those on the ground, and you can spread them around and say, hey, when we're going to do this world boss, I want you guys to stand here and you guys stand by the blue tree. And it's a nice little pro tip for something you can use to replace those markers. What are they called? Tactical markers. If you are not using tactical markers when you are in an operation, that is definitely something you should unlock. I believe it's in your legacy tab. Very, very useful. And you can put them on the bars or just have them around. One thing that the chat room mentions, Tara Quinn mentions, is one of the upsides to the weapon is that they have a purple color by default. So if you do not have a purple crystal, the weapons will shoot purple without a crystal. Of course, you kind of need to put a crystal in. But that's still, from a decoration perspective, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if you use them in an outfit designer with no crystal in it, if it would be purple, regardless of what the crystal was in your actual weapon. Probably. So there you go. I will guarantee it. I don't know. 3 guides. If you do want to dig in and you need more information than we are giving you here today on what's going on in the feast, the 3 guides I will point you to is Volk, SWTOR, and MMO Bits. So Zamzam and MMO Bits, she has not updated her Feast of Prosperity guide since last year. She didn't update it for this year, but it's just the only thing that's changed is those rewards that we just went through. So you can just look on the vendor and see the rewards. Guide wise, all 3 of them have done some nice guides. So check those out if you want sort of the details, but we can go through just some of the high points, which is if you're wondering how this all starts and you came to Nar Shaddaa and you're staring at the huts and they aren't talking to you and you don't even know how to start on your character, you need to start on the fleet. So you go on the fleet, you go down by the elevators, I think down by the Cartel Bazaar. At the end of one of those spoke hallways, in the middle of the fleet, you'll see a bunch of decorations for the Feast of Prosperity, and there will be someone there that you could talk to.
He's called a festival crier or something like that.
The festival crier. The town crier says, "Come to the feast." And you can role play that if you would like. There you go. That will then send you to Nar Shaddaa. The fastest way to get to Nar Shaddaa is to open up your strongholds, travel to your Nar Shaddaa stronghold, because you probably have one. They're easy to get. Exit your Nar Shaddaa stronghold, say exit to Nar Shaddaa, and you will end up on the promenade. Take a right, go up the ramp by the side, the hut butt. We call it the hut butt side. So you can see it's by the hut's butt. It's behind the hut. Go up the ramp, and as soon as you get up the ramp, you're right here by all of the stuff going on for the feast. And this is the hub. This is the hub for the feast. This is where the vendor is. This is where the 2 Duburga and Duba and Gaburga, who do the story part of the Feast of Prosperity. And then once you get done with the story part on a character and it's all unlocked, then you will get the dailies and weeklies for the Feast of Prosperity, which is where you'll get most of the currency. So if you want the currency, if you want the prosperity tokens to be buying all of the decorations and armor sets and weapons and the new mounts, you need the prosperity tokens. Let's talk about which is a little bit updated because it works better now. Talk about gathering the ingredients, Seema, because there's two sets of ingredients, right?
I guess.
And
I
world
don't know what
bosses
you're
is one of
after.
them. And
Yeah.
and the world bosses are now multi-tag,
Yes.
and you get credit for doing it even if an Imperial group starts it and you're on the Republic side. You will still get the credit for doing the
Well,
gathering
you'll
the
be able to,
ingredient. You'll
right,
be able
because
to
you'll
loot
be
it.
able to loot it. Yeah.
Yes. Um,
Um,
right,
and then there's usually something in the area too. That's the other quest
right.
to pick up something or kill things to get something. Like in Corellia, you have to run around and kill Nexu to get drops, and other places you just have to pick up something off the ground or something growing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and those are yeah. And then if you do a certain number of them, then you get credit for weekly. And the reason you would do these is for the currency, so that you can
Right.
buy stuff off the vendor.
Yeah. They did the fixes to make it so that the multi-tagging works better this round, so that's kind of new for 2022. It's still, when you're getting those world boss quests, it's still a little bit confusing because they do change even within a day. The ones that the Rhodian might tell you to go kill, go kill Lucky or go kill Snowblind to get the whisker or whatever. If you pick it up in the morning and your friend picks it up in the evening and you both look at what world bosses you're supposed to kill, you might see that they're different. If you both abandon it, go back to the Rhodian at the same time, it's based on a time and its cycles. I don't know the exact cycle, if it's once every 4, 6, or 8 hours or whatever it is, but it changes multiple times of the day. If you both pick it up at the same time or you share it, then you'll be set. So do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, either way.
And then as Seema mentioned, yeah, it's actually two sets of ingredients. One comes off the world boss and one comes off of something in the area. Either you have to like kill Nexu for their tongues, or there's little plants on the ground that you need to loot 8 things or whatever it is, but it's always going to be in the area of wherever that world boss was. What about the other ones? Have you done any of the other dailies
I
this
did
time
all
around?
of them.
Really?
Not this time around. No,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I finished them last
Oh,
time.
yeah, and you got all the achievements for them too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not. I don't think I finished the achievements. So because you've done so many of them, what's your favorite of those? There's the Cantina Rush
Oh, yeah, I don't
and
my
Kitchen
favorite
Duty.
is the kitchen duty one.
Yeah, I
Um,
really like the kitchen one as well.
yeah. The Cantina Rush is also good, but I don't know, just it's a little bit more, it's kind of like Tetris and those kind of games where it just keeps getting harder.
Right,
Except that it does eventually finish and then you win, right? Like Tetris, you never actually win, but
right.
yeah. Um,
But
so
it's cool.
this is where my analogy falls right to the ground. But anyway, yeah, and then in the kitchen one, basically it tells you what ingredient to add to the pot or to turn down the pot or turn up the pot or put ice in it or don't put ice in it. And you have to like know where the ingredients are. So there's a little bit of like familiarity with the kitchen will help. And then you just grab the ingredients it calls for, put them in. And then for the achievements, you do certain ones and then you do certain things multiple times. And
Yeah,
it's a little bit RNG because you don't get the same missions every day. And for the achievements, you have to do all the missions. So you kind of have to watch and make sure if you're after the achievements, you have to look every day to see what missions are up.
right. Okay, because you're trying to get you have to construct the appropriate dishes and that kind of thing. And then
Yes.
there's an easy
For
mode
the
and a
kitchen
hard
duty.
mode version of them as well, right? Um,
Yes, but it's not very hard.
but
Because I'm not a very twitchy type of game player, so and I didn't have any trouble with the hard mode kitchen duty.
But you do have to know what the ingredients look like. But by the time you do it enough
Yeah.
times for the first one, then
Yeah.
you'll know like when it tells you to go like go get the Like the vinegar versus the something else was what
Right, like all the bottles, they kind of run together in your mind at some
Glort
point, but
Glort slurry versus Belmore vinegar, and when it
right.
tells you to add that, nothing's happening in here. I wonder if it's because we're in a group and I can't do this in a group.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm just hanging out in the kitchen, which is kind of cool.
Do you have
Um,
the quest?
yeah,
You
yeah.
must, or I don't
I
think you
wouldn't have
could
got in.
get in. Yeah.
My spider's running around in here. He wants to cook the brain. But yeah, so I'm just
He
staring at
doesn't
these
want to cook
ingredients.
his brain. Oh my God.
It's delicious. We're gonna cook it up. We're gonna eat it for dessert. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
I want some dessert though.
I just think this is also just really well designed. They put so much work into just all of the
Yeah, I love the floor in here.
little decorations and the
Yeah.
yeah,
And how
this
like the floor in front of the oven has just been obviously,
worn and scuffed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The grill works really well when you're putting stuff on the grill and the stove. Do we have these decos for our strongholds? The
We should.
stove
That
and
would
the
be
like the
awesome.
kitchen decorations?
Yeah.
What are the decorations that are on the vendor? I bought one of every decoration, but I don't know.
Yeah, I bought them all, but I don't know what they are. Let
That
me go
is a
look.
good question. That is a
Well, I mean, some of them are the NPCs.
failed mission, cooking braised
Like
citronella.
arrangements of meals for 3,
Yeah, but I don't think we get like the
basket
grill
of
and the
fruit.
stove.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, they got to do that. They've got the models there. Yeah, okay, so here's your 2023
Yep.
BioWare. Definitely. Because then we could make a kitchen in our stronghold. We could take one of the side rooms and turn it into a whole kitchen. So give us I mean, really, you could
Yeah.
put it in the cartel market. Just do it all. Do the refrigerator, do the, do a whole set. Refrigerator, grill, stove, and some of like the pots and pans and stuff. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Do
it
it.
would.
Let's do it. Uh, I like the kitchen one a lot better than the delivery one. So basically what it is when you enter, you're either working in the kitchen or you're working basically the front of house of this little restaurant. When you're working front of house, you're the astromech and you're delivering to the tables as Seema just described. It is a fun little arcadey game though. You're
It's a
pick
little bit like that episode of I Love Lucy where she and Ethel are like working in that.
wrapping the chocolate in the
Yeah.
chocolate factory.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to go and grab dishes and deliver to the appropriate table. So you got to deliver the red dishes to a table that lights up and says, I want the red dish." And you can hold up to 4 dishes at a time. The more dishes you hold though on your little tray, the slower you drive around. There's also a timer counting down, and if the timer expires at a table, then you missed it and you lost it. That one, so the kitchen one, you need to complete the dish to get credit. To get credit on the story mode, regular mode of the kitchen delivery as the astromech, you don't need to finish it. You could just let the clock run out and not deliver to any of the tables, and it will complete it for you for the day. So if you want to gamify a little bit, if you want to be a terrible delivery droid, you can go in
You may
there.
not get a tip.
Yeah, you won't get any tips that day, but just you could enter the environment, go through the door, go AFK. When it comes back and it's done, you'll get credit.
I
So
mean, unless they fix that.
unless they did. Hidden achievement. So Tara Quinn mentions that there's a hidden achievement that needs 25 of the hard mode cantina deliveries completed. Just completed again. So you could just grab a character, drop it in there, let it complete and fail because it's still completed. And then you get credit for one of those 25. My favorite part of this, though, is the ingredients and the world bosses, which does
Yeah,
tend to work really well.
the world boss part of it is what is really special about this event, because I mean on Nar Shaddaa and also actually on the planets too, just about any time of day there's somebody trying to form a group.
Right.
and you can stand around in Narshada and join a world boss group. They generally will have someone that can summon. I mean, because people volunteer to do it, right? People will volunteer to go out to the planet and then summon everybody else.
And in fact, this Nar Shaddaa is the world boss right now. And there's a group that's, in fact, type X in general right now, Seema.
Okay.
Um, where we'll jump in there and do the world boss. They're about to summon us to the world boss, and so this is how easy it is. We just said, "Hey, we should do the world boss. Just go to the planet, look in general, ask in general if anybody is uh is forming a group, and then here, I'm even gonna suggest to you, Seema. Can I suggest to you group invite to ops group? I just invited you.
Thank you.
And then usually the groups will summon you. Someone will have gotten there. Or if you go wherever the boss is, you could stand around here. We just got summoned. I think I do have gear on this character. Good. I didn't want to get summoned to be naked and punching the boss. But so this one is Blossom Threads. Ready check. Blossom
You
Threads.
share the? Do you have the quest? You share it?
Yes, I do
Does
have the
I mean,
quest.
it doesn't
I
really
will
matter,
share it.
but
Share. There you go.
I
And
must have it already.
game on. So now we are fighting the Battle Droid R4GL, which is actually kind of difficult to find on.
It's kind of a trek to find him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the more difficult ones to get to because it's kind of buried where it ends up on Nar Shaddaa. So if you need to do this for other like conquest objectives, definitely look up how to get there. I think you got to like go back ways through network security and stuff like that.
Well, look at these phase. They're scared.
Yes. So any of the world bosses have an effect which causes your companion
Oh, right.
to
Not
cower in
help.
fear. Yes, basically. So
Yeah.
it's your companions aren't uh
I
helping.
mean, that's yeah, okay. That's what part of what makes multi-tagging work because you can't have like a million.
Right. There. Now I looted my blossom threads. And then there's forgot what the other ingredient. Oh, prep work lost recipe data. Nope, that's something else. I don't know. Not going to do it now. But no, actually we did. So the other droids that are all around this area. Here, let me share this with you, Seema. The droids that are around the area drop recipe data. And now I've got 4 of 5 recipe data, and here's the other 2. Now I'm done with two of the ingredient dailies. It's also quite social, so you're seeing that you've got like everybody everybody on the server getting together, Imperial and Republic working together. I agree. This is one of the best objectives.
Yeah. The whole multi-tagging thing has actually really made world bosses a lot more fun.
Yeah. Any of the ones that show up on Conquest as a result, same thing. If it's on the Conquest list, you could just go and stand around or go to the planet and listen in general or say, is anyone forming a world boss group, or start it up yourself if they're not, as another great way to go about getting those regular Conquest world bosses done as well.
I
All
mean,
right.
pretty much anything when you multi-tag, if you're not in the group that tags it, you can get loot, you can get credit for like achievements and conquest and galactic seasons. You just won't get credit for any particular mission, like if you have the world boss targets, the world priority targets mission.
Yes. Good. Really good point. You won't get that mission credit. Hut butt. Where's the hut butt? There it is. Bound around the backside, and we'll turn this in. Anything else on Feast of Prosperity before we wrap up here then, Seema?
Just you know, you you already talked about the outfits. There are two different outfits. They don't look very chefy, but they are associated with the event. But then the one thing that does look really chefy is the actual chef's hat, which isn't
Yes.
part of either of those two outfits. You just buy it separately. It's not that expensive in terms of currency. And then
Seema,
you have
Seema keeps buying it on all her characters, apparently.
yeah. I mean, it's silly, like the Taco Bell hat is silly from Karaga.
But in
It's
theme,
important to have. But it's in theme. Yes, you're right.
the armor set has all of these little ingredients hanging off of you in some
Yes.
weird tribal looking way. But I kind of like it. It's got like feathers on the back too, because you're like hunting rare ingredients. It's unique. It's a unique and theme to the event. Yep. And the decos, a lot of the decos are good too. My favorite of the decos, if we're gonna finish up with that, is the droid, the drinks droid that you can get as one of the decos. It's the gold hovering drinks droid that is
Mm-hmm.
hanging around here. Here's a version of it. Very cool. It's got the martini glasses. It's very shiny, well done model, and it like hovers. You can put it in your stronghold to have the drinks. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Will there be a cantina? So that's what you get. All right. I think this is good. Enjoy it. Fun to have these events come around. This is a good one. Enjoy the heck out of it. And then next one like this will be Life Day. That'll be coming up in another month as well. So enjoy the feast.
Yes.
All right. I think with that, we can wrap up our episode. Our EPC 445 droid is ready to get kicked out of airlock to broadcast this episode to all of you. 445, Seema.
Wow.
All the feed and subscribe links to all of those 445 episodes, which are still all available. If you want to go back 9 years ago and hear what this podcast sounded like, you could do that. They're all
Please don't, though.
available through newoverlords.com and YouTube/newoverlords. It might be a little bit difficult to get to them, but they're all available. I could give you the links if you can't get to them still on the RSS feed. You can also come chat with us in our Discord, which is at newoverlords.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at Max the Gray, and you can follow the channel's feed on Twitter at The New Overlords, and we'll keep you up to date on everything SWTOR Escape podcast and our other podcast and other videos that go on our channel as well. For Alea Act as Guild information on Starforge and all the games that we play, check out aie-guild.org. And the Discord link for AIE is in the upper right. That's a great place to jump in the SWTOR channel, in the AIE Discord. We've got guilds on the Imperial and the Republic side of Starforge. Jump in there. We would be happy to get you an invite. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.